everyone. Thanks for joining us on our show, Basic Concepts in the Wisdom of Kabbalah with Dr. Michael Laitman. Hello, Dr. Laitman. Hello. And on our show, what we're trying to do is to take a concept from the tremendous wisdom of Kabbalah and to explain it in the most simplest and emotional way for beginners. And today's concept is tikkun, correction. Dr. Laitman, when you hear the word correction, tikkun, it's somehow related to, it's something very technical. It's like fixing some kind of appliance or something. In the wisdom of Kabbalah, what you hear is that as a result of corrections, you reach exalted sensations, spiritual ones. So my question to you is, when you hear the word tikkun, correction, how does it make you feel? That I have something that's corrupted, and I need to perform certain actions in order to repair it. Cool? It is. Why not? Maybe it is. I don't know. Yeah, it is. It's something technical. That I have qualities, desires, actions that are not corrected. I need to scrutinize. How are they not corrected? Do I see them or not? How can I identify them? And I need to bring them to a state where they will be corrected. And this action is called correction, tikkun. What actually needs to be corrected according to the wisdom of Kabbalah? First of all, I have to discover that there's something corrupted about me. Then, how can I correct it? How much will I need to invest in the correction? What do I gain as a result? How do I correct it? By what? Through what? Who helps me understand, feel, identify the corruptions and understand? How do I correct it? Maybe I need a certain expert for each and everything, like in our world, etc., etc. Meaning there's a process here which I need to undergo. What is the first step? The first step is to identify my qualities, the qualities that I need to correct. Are these particular qualities? Yes. Which? There are many. My entire character, my entire attitude toward myself and others, and in general. I'm entirely corrupted. Entirely? Entirely. It's really hard to describe, hard to imagine. First of all, you stressed me out. Why are you smiling? Entirely? You're not. I am. No, you're making fun. You mean that a person's entirely corrupted? Entirely corrupted, yes. If a person corrects himself, what will he be like? He'll be corrected? What is that? Externally, nothing changes. The same person. On the inside, his qualities, intentions, desires, thoughts, all that will be, instead of using the entire world to his own pleasure and benefit, he will want and try with all his qualities to do good to the rest of the world, without thinking about himself, but about how to do good unto others. The switch between using the entire world to my own benefit and causing good to the entire world, that's called correction. What is the corruption, actually? That I think only about myself. Why is that the corruption in the wisdom of Kabbalah? Because in that, I care only for myself, and I don't care about the rest of the world. I'm willing to use everyone, to exploit everyone, as long as I feel good. It's embedded, rooted in our nature, in everyone's nature. And if you have billions of people, each thinking the same way, only to their own benefit, and not to the benefit of others whatsoever, or even worse, thinking about how to do bad to others, that this can also give me pleasure because I always measure myself in relation to others. So what follows is that a person entirely consists only of the forces of evil. The corruption, is it defined differently in every specific person? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Everyone has their own character, their own approach, their own perception. Therefore, the evil in everyone has a kind of deviation, an inclination that differs from the others. When you look at the world, there are plenty of things that are going wrong: injustice, wars, violence, corruption, a million different things. Why are you specifically focusing on man's internality when you talk about the corruption? What other corrupted things are there besides human beings that think only about themselves and doing good to themselves, for themselves, at the expense of others? So this is the root of everything else? Not only the root, it's everything, simply everything. In nature, you also see plenty of corruptions, tsunamis, earthquakes, many different things. So, in the wisdom of Kabbalah, we learn that all these actions in nature, we evoke them through our corruptions. We human beings are above the degrees of the still, the vegetative, and the animate. We're on the uppermost degree called the speaking level, and the corruption between us is what draws from all those degrees of the still, the vegetative, and animate negative influences. What is a corrected person like? He can't cause any evil to anyone. Not in intention, not intentionally, and not in any kind of action. And everything that he does in the world, he tries to do. He tries to do whatever he can in order for others to have it good. What is a corrected world like? That all people only do good onto each other, that they're concerned only with the well-being of the other, and the entire world has this good, pleasant feeling between people. That's beautiful. Yeah, simple. And what does it sit on? It sits on a big correction where everyone gets this kind of quality of loving your fellow man, caring for your fellow man. And this is what we need to learn. How do we find such a quality in nature? How do you find such a quality in nature? That's what the wisdom of Kabbalah is for. This already has to do with studying and implementing the wisdom of Kabbalah that will necessarily lead us to this kind of degree. The action of correction itself. What do you do? What corrects the corrupted thing? What's the action itself? That my desires, to the measure to which I discover them, that they're all bad, from their beginning to their very end. Many desires, everything there is about me. How to define the evil? That I think only to my own benefit, at the expense of others. At the expense of others, of course. It can't be any other way, because we're all interconnected. We're all in a system that is entirely dependent on all of its parts are interdependent, are all the different kinds of connections. The entire system is interconnected in all of its parts, and therefore it is entirely evil, bad. So what turns it from bad to good? I need to draw an upper force that will shine upon me and will show me the evil that I'm really immersed in toward others, toward myself, that by that I also really harm myself. And this is what gradually stops me and advances me toward a state where I understand that corrections need to be performed here, and then I turn to the upper force, which is utterly good, my complete opposite. And I ask and demand and beg and cry for him to correct me, for him to change me from the bad form in which I think about everyone consciously and subconsciously and in different other ways. And I demand of him to correct me and to do good, that I will never think about anyone anything bad. Does every person have a specific correction of his own? Yes, because each of us has their own qualities, feelings, emotions, thoughts. All these need correction, so that I will use all of them only to the benefit of others. Are there other methods? There are other methods that use the concept of correction, like Eastern teachings, ethics. What's the essential change between the wisdom of Kabbalah and other methods in relation to correction? I don't know. I'm really studied these but I only think that what the wisdom of Kabbalah corrects of a person, demands of a person, is for him to correct his attitude toward others. Are there things about a person that he doesn't need to correct? There's nothing good in people, something that they don't need to correct. But all day long, in all that he does, in all that he is, he does bad to others, and by that causes harm to himself. Suppose I have a certain character, and my wife, she has a different character, and so do you. Every person has a character of their own. So, as if need to correct my character will change in the process of correction. The character itself doesn't change, but you, with your character, will begin to perform actions by which you will do good to others through my specific character. Yeah? So I have certain givens from nature, which is Oren. So that Oren needs to remain Oren, only invert from the bad to the good Oren, to clothe in a different dressing, instead of a wolf becoming a sheep. That's good. So, what I understand is that there's a kind of a psychological process where the bad Oren becomes a good one. Right. So, the correction, is it a psychological process, or there's something that I don't exactly understand? No, it's actually a psychological process. And the force that shifts, inverts Oren from bad to good, that's the upper force. It's something that does not exist in us, does not exist in our nature, but we need to generate this force and pull it to ourselves, for it to care for us and correct us. Why does this force that you define as the upper force, why did it create us corrupted to begin with? In order for us to understand how opposite to it we really are, and for us to appreciate our qualities against its qualities, that our qualities are entirely evil, and for us to ask the upper force to correct us and to make us like him, so that all of our qualities will be similar to His. If I say that the upper force made me corrupted, don't I say that He's flawed? No, but He made me corrupted on purpose. On purpose, that's what we learn in the wisdom of Kabbalah, how He made us similar to Him to begin with. And that's why He called this concept, this form, He called it Adam. Adam in Hebrew coming from the word similar to, meaning similar to Him. And then He corrupted us, we can say with His very hand, so to speak. And now we need to ask Him to correct us. So, what was the entire trip for? In order for us to turn to Him, to ask, to come closer to Him, to see what did He do in each and every stage, and to what measure these things are they accepted by us when they're corrected, and unacceptable for us when they're corrupted. In this entire process, or do I need to think about this entire process as an evolutional one? Of course. Accordingly, we change in life. Our world will change and look different. What are the stages of evolution here? A recognition of the evil of our nature, and coming closer to the Creator, and our request to Him for us to come closer to Him and make us like Him. I see that the diagnosis of defining what is the essence of the corruption, that's the key. Yes, that's the main thing. Because if I feel my evil and I want to correct it, then that's all I need, actually. When I look at people around me, the truth is that it's not that I'm perfect. It's pretty far from being perfect. But I see many people around me that need a much greater correction than I do. Is that true? A person can't say about others, whether it's correct or not, that he sees corrupted people, because anyone who blames does it because of his own flaws, blames others. What do you mean? That the corruptions that you see in other people are because you yourself are corrupted. But if you correct yourself, then we can ask you, do you now see them as corrupted yourself? Well, let's see what you say. You're saying that it might change? Of course it can. Okay, so I need to focus on myself. How can I bring myself to a feeling that I'm really corrupted and I need a big correction? That's actually the first stage, what we're learning about in the wisdom of Kabbalah, how to see the truth. So for this, we're connecting in a group, and each looks at the others, wanting to come closer to them, seeing how much he doesn't want it. And this way, he reaches a demand, he comes to demand the Creator to correct him. Suppose a person doesn't want to correct himself. Can he avoid the process? Please? And what will happen to such a person? In spirituality, there's no coercion. You don't want to? No problem. So what will this evolution lead him to? Eventually, it needs to bring everyone to a state where we will want the correction, meaning a person incarnates or rolls into such emotions, sensations, situations in life where he will want the correction. Can we postpone the correction? Postpone it as much as you want, as much as you can. How far? To the point where you can no longer stand your evil. So there has to be a sense of self-recognition. If you acknowledge your own evil previously, then you have more options to correct yourself in better conditions, under better conditions. It's like with, God forbid, some kind of disease, that the earlier you catch it, the easier the healing process. What do you really gain as a result of the entire process of correction? What you gain is the correction itself. What do you mean? First and foremost. And the second thing is that if we approach the correction correctly, then even during the correction itself, during the time of recovery, we feel ourselves good, that we're recovering, that we're going to be healthy. Can this process of correction, can we undergo it without suffering? It depends. The question is, how do you relate to it? What's your attitude toward it? If my attitude toward the disease is that I want to get rid of it, then anything that the doctors give me, I look at it as something good, right? But if I'm not that aware of it, then I look at all these things that cure me as things that are harming me. And then I look at my life and I start understanding. Maybe my entire life, the life that I'm living now, is a healing process. And I'm suffering in life. I work hard. I need to run to different places, arrange different things. I'm in constant care, concern, fear. Maybe it's because I don't understand that it is a healing process. And how can I make some kind of change here? And so comes the wisdom of Kabbalah and explains that, of course, you're right. You're in a process you're in a healing process, but in this process of healing process, who knows how long can you stay in it? But there are such remedies that can speed things up for you. Do it. And this is what the wisdom of Kabbalah explains. How can I reach the good more quickly without, difficult surgeries and different problems? But take a pill, small pill, and you'll get well again. In the Kabbalah books, we know that they write about different corrections. It seems like sometimes it even looks as something mystical, magical. No, there's nothing magical or mystical about it. There's no such thing there where you activate special forces or no, none of that. So what is the correction then? The correction is that I correct my ego, that instead of the egoistic form, I will become an altruistic person, which is what? Someone who wants the benefit of others. That's the correction. That's it. That's all there is to it. To reach love another as yourself, this is the great rule of the Torah. Does this correction need to include all of humanity eventually? Yes, it does. Each is advancing in and of himself in particular, or all of us together as a mankind in particular, and all of us together too. Where is humanity now? In a very special state, where it's crossing from individual corrections, where each here and there corrects himself, since the forces of nature are awakening us, pricking us, pulling us toward it, up to the point where we are now entering a stage called the general correction, that all of us are starting to feel corruptions, torments. We're starting to feel torments in the entire world, and also the need to be connected, for all the world to be connected. Suppose we start advancing in the process of correction, what results will we see? We will decide that we have no choice, but we need to rise above our ego and to treat each other as my relative, as someone close. Why? Because we're all parts of a vessel called Adam. There's a concept in the wisdom of Kabbalah called the end of correction, Gemar Tikkun. What is that? Where all of us connect as one man in one heart in a way that everyone feels the others, willing to do everything to their benefit. And this way, everyone for everyone and everyone for everyone else and all of humanity, until we will feel that we are really, and it's not even a group. By that, we become so connected that it becomes one. That's good. Like, probably everyone read it, that the Creator created Adam. So we'll all feel like that one Adam, in Hebrew meaning man. Unfortunately, our time's almost up. What's the most important thing to remember about the correction, tikkun? Love another as yourself. This is the great rule in the Torah. It's all about that. It's all in that. Don't do anything besides correcting yourself toward love of others. And in that, for sure, you will reach the truth and correction and the correct realization in your life. As a beginner who just started studying the wisdom of Kabbalah, what would you wish for me? To simply understand that the wisdom of Kabbalah is a practical method that is very practical, that explains how to correctly relate to each other, and this way we really reach an internal, whole, complete, and perfect life that's so good that it's a shame that people don't see that this opportunity is right in front of us. I wish for everyone to open their eyes, start studying this method. There's nothing, and realizing it, there's nothing better. Good luck. Thank you very much, Dr. Laitman. Thank you for being with us. Till next time, all the best.